Testimony continued today in the showdown between Prince Harry and a British tabloid publisher he is suing allegedly for hacking his phone and other intrusions of privacy. The Duke of Sussex is the first senior British royal to deliver testimony inside a British court in at least 130 years. Harry alleges that the publisher used unlawful methods to produce stories about him, which the publisher has denied. Imtiaz Tyab is in London with more on the trial. Imtiaz, good morning.
Good morning.
So, 2 days of questioning over 8 hours. Has Prince Harry been able to prove he was a victim of phone hacking and other illegal press intrusion?
Guys, good to be with you. Well, look, the short answer is no. Neither Harry nor his lawyers have yet produced what could be described as a smoking gun, where they can say, in this article specifically, we can categorically prove the contents of it were obtained illegally. In saying that, many legal analysts do believe the prince made a really strong case that the tabloids have created distress in his life, going all the way back to when he was just a boy, still in school. Even Andrew Green, the attorney for the Mirror group of newspapers, the publisher of the three tabloids that he's suing, acknowledged in court the suffering that has been caused to Prince Harry by the media. But we have to remember, Prince Harry is not suing the newspapers for being too mean to him or too nosy about his life, or for even being flat out wrong about his personal life. He's suing them because they, in his words, deployed, and I'm quoting here, unlawful means to get their stories. Now, these unlawful means include phone hacking and something which is called blagging, which in British slang is essentially obtaining confidential information by impersonation or deception. Now, on the second day in the witness box, Prince Harry did appear much more animated, confident, and even a little combative, and at one point was also a little emotional as well. He also didn't face any new big or embarrassing revelations of the sort that have made many other high-ranking British royals very wary of appearing in court, as you've been saying, Vlad, for more than a century. But something, and that of course is something that was no doubt a huge sigh of relief to the palace, who, while not commenting, are no doubt watching this case very, very closely. All of which is to say that none of this means that Prince Harry is winning, or that this case will help in his, quote, declared mission of reining in the British tabloids, something he says that desperately needs to change, given the treatment not only of him in the past, but also of him now and of his wife, Meghan.
And that brings me to this point. It's not the first time the tabloids or publishers have been sued. In another case, the publisher admitted, yeah, we have in the past done illegal things, but they sort of said, but upper management or didn't really know about it. Was kind of like their excuse. So even if Prince Harry wins, is this likely to change the behavior of the British media?
Well, look, the bottom line is this. The British tabloids really only have itself to blame for this case and the many which have been settled outside of courts that have come before it for all the very reasons which you've just said, Anne-Marie. But we have to remember the phone hacking scandal, which really burst into the public back in 2011 after a Guardian newspaper expose found hundreds, if not thousands, of these really tawdry tabloid articles targeting not only high-ranking royals, but also zealous celebrities, folks who might have been famous for appearing on a reality TV show and suddenly became famous for 5 minutes, that many of those details about their personal lives had been obtained by illegal methods, including hacking, and that top editors, publishers, and journalists were not only aware, but also actively involved. This is a scandal that has already led to the closure of Rupert Murdoch's top tabloid a few years ago called The News of the World. It's resulted in several prominent tabloid journalists going to jail here in Britain and has triggered well over $1 billion in legal fees and compensation for victims of hacking. In fact, a public inquiry into UK press ethics saw members of Parliament even consider regulating the industry. So on some levels, things have moved on and have moved on considerably. But the pain for people targeted, including people like Prince Harry, clearly has not. And while the tabloids may not be using illegal methods, as they say they don't, to obtain the kind of information on the prince or his family, they certainly still sling mud at people like Prince Harry any chance they get.
Indeed. Well, it pays. Imtiaz, thank you very much.
Pleasure, guys.